Ray J got shot at, plus what was at Diddy Freakoff parties? And oh my goodness, have you guys heard about the latest car chase Diddy did? Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. Welcome to the Popcorn Podcast. These are now going to be a little longer. We're actually going to go through more stories. Those will always stay here after. Try to keep it about 45 minutes. Our Tuesday, Thursday shows always go about a couple hours. But this is going to become a podcast that we are also working on getting online to Spotify, Apple Music, etc. When they are, I hope you'll support us there. But each Tuesday, Thursday, we'll be giving you the best of the news out there. And today we are going back to some more Diddygate coverage. That's right. Diddygate continues here in Popcorn Planet. And we got a lot of updates, including this claim from Ray J. You know Ray J from the Kim Kardashian tape. Look, before I play this clip, because I played it before and I realized I can't have this kind of language at the beginning of a show. YouTube just doesn't let us, guys. That's really what it's about. But I want to say something. I said it earlier in our live. This case is getting scary. It's getting dangerous, like legit. I'm kind of surprised this isn't happening to more people, because all these people that are coming out against Diddy are exposing very rich and powerful people. There's a lot of names now being dropped on other channels and places and in the news. They've already sort of known they were coming out. But when these powerful people are threatened, this is the kind of stuff that happens. Now, I don't know if that's what happened here, because Ray J's kind of just been out there fighting with Diddy's kids. Diddy's kids involved in this? Is someone else trying to make Diddy's kids look bad? I don't know. But the fact that they're now, blanks fired is troublesome. It's scary. And it makes me pause for a moment just to reiterate, like, we got to be careful in all this. These people, there's a new witness that came out who I hope is coming on the show soon, guys. She's naming presidents, guys. She's naming presidents. She named Prince Harry. She went into details about these people, and I'm working on getting her here so we can actually have a conversation about this. I want to. But my point is it's getting real, right? S just got real. And so to see that Ray J's also dealing with this is kind of shocking. So here, warning just with some of the language. Here it is, Ray J's video.
Just tried to shoot me and tried
Wow. What?
to kill me. And you want me to apologize? Fuck you.
There it is. So he's making this allegation in his Instagram stories. They tried to S me. They're trying to K him. The gunfire was tied to some unspecified feud. Kim Kardashian's ex declaring his refusal to apologize. He signed off his video, F you. So we don't know what else this means. Now, we know after he was having that face-off with Christian, Quincy, and Justin Combs outside the Halloween bash, which Chris Brown somehow miraculously saved the day. Chris Brown and Ray's manager, David, swooped in and broke up the altercation. The group ultimately parted ways peacefully at the time. It's unclear, though, what this recent thing is tied to, what this beef is. It seems Ray has made a few enemies in Hollywood. The story is developing. So, but TMZ has not been able to confirm this yet. Nobody has, but it adds to the danger quality, the fact that S is getting real. And it's getting real because now we got women from these parties, allegedly from these parties, these freak-offs, coming forward and starting to acknowledge and admit some really troubling things. Now, this comes in from TMZ's, I guess, latest documentary, but here is a clip. This is Tiana Wallace, who I can also say we are currently in talks with to get on the channel, so stay tuned. Make sure you hit that subscribe. I'm telling you, a lot of people involved in this case are starting to come on the channel, thanks to Jaguar, who sort of made it. I think a lot of people saw her on and thought, oh, I want to do that. That was a good interview. So we're working our best. We got a lot of exciting people coming forward. But let's hear what Tiana is saying. Tania, I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Let's hear what she's saying here to Harvey as part of this new documentary.
My name is Tania Wallace. I am a singer-songwriter, and I was at I believe to be one of P. Diddy's freak-offs. 2018, I went to this freak-off. I looked to the right of me, and in the corner, I'm looking like, are those midgets? Because people were it's people over them, like it's people trying to hide what they're doing. They're all huddled up. So I'm like, what is that? But no, they weren't. They were little people. And, I don't want to say too much. They were little people.
She's being careful, and you're going to see why in a second.
So, use your common sense. Dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies, red lipstick, looking like real sexy, revealing like cute. So I'm like, what the hell?
What were the little people doing?
Getting covered up, trying to cover up what they were doing. Just, I don't know, like being admired, being hid, something. But it's like, what are they doing here? Because this is a grown party.
Are you talking about adults who are little people, or are you talking about minors?
Am I gonna get in trouble? I don't want to say I witnessed any of that crazy stuff, but we all have common sense.
So
little people, that's not supposed to be there.
You're talking about underage people.
It's a shame.
now, why isn't she just saying it? Why is she admitted it? Because then she could be complicit to being there, right? But the reality is, I've heard the full interview. She did this on Soft White Underbelly, who Trump beat TMZ to it. They're now trying to, monetize it like crazy. But in that full story, as she shared that story before, she talked about this. Here's an example of sort of what that is. It's sort of like an attempt to like dress up to make it seem like, oh, that's not what they are, but she's trying to make it clear like that's what they were. They're dressed up to look like they're cosplayed, but the reality is, you use your common sense. She's saying she clearly didn't want to say it out loud. It's like she was on YouTube, like we are, we can't say it out loud, but read between the lines. They were hot up, no, but no, they were like little people dressed up like these Barbies, red lipstick looking. So she was invited to this party by a Saudi prince who flew her from LA, admitted she couldn't see exactly what the minors and adults were doing, but she was alarmed because it was a grown party. Asked repeatedly to clarify what she meant. She stresses she didn't want to get in trouble and that they weren't supposed to be there. It's a shame. Now, this all happened here in this bigger interview. And this, again, like I told you, you can look up Soft White Underbelly to see her sort of first interview, and I hope to get her on so we can get a little bit more specific. But yeah, in there, she talks about this prince that sort of brought her in there. Look, she didn't want to be in the room, from what I gathered in both interviews and parts she did. She didn't really want to be there. She kept getting invited into the room, like the special room that you needed special heels for, I think it was. Like if you put on a special pair of shoes, you had access to go into the big house. And once she got in the big house, she alleges that's when all the Freakoff stuff was actually happening. I knew it wasn't going to seem true. It was too much. It was just too crazy. People were going to think it was just, I was lying, but now more have come forward. That's made her sort of speak out more. It was a well-connected Arabian prince who invited her to go to this party. When she arrived, a security guard patted the guests down and the mobile phones were taken and locked in a case. The guests were supposedly confined to an area outside the star's mansion. You have the pool and they're playing loud music, house music. It makes you feel kind of woozy because it's like a rave or something. Everybody was walking around drunk till it's like 7 a.m. So the sun's coming up and people are walking around without their clothes. They're in the pool skinny dipping. They're drinking mimosas. Waitress is walking around giving people drinks. Like the party never ends, apparently, with Diddy. One guest was walking around recruiting attendees for an elite party within the party, handing out pairs of slippers to people she claims were chosen to be in the main building. Tania was reluctant to accept the invite because she didn't want to leave her friends. She went on, I'm a good, loyal friend. I'm not going to go inside when they said my friend can't go. So we're walking around, us mingling. P. Diddy was with the prince. I'm not going to say what he was doing, but it was something very actual. A few moments later, Diddy himself came up to her and asked why she hadn't accepted the invite to go into the inner party. She ended up chatting with him for a few about a planned trip to Cuba. Then the person that he was dating at the time, I'm not going to say her name, we all know it was, she came and wanted to know what he was doing because he was talking to me for too long. She came to like rub his shoulders and he just pushed her. I guess we're assuming that's about Cassie. Feeling awkward, she walked away from the couple and instead decided to investigate the mysterious inner party. She was shocked. I don't judge people, but when people are out of their mind, when people are out of their mind, I'm seeing that stuff you see in the movies. I'm thinking like Eyes Wide Shut type of party. This corner, they're doing this. This corner, they're doing that. This corner, they're having X. I saw one person laid out. She describes feeling increasingly nervous and paranoid, adding, I just felt like I was going to get trafficked or substanced or something. She quickly decided to leave, claiming it was then she realized she had not been invited to get her breakthrough in show business at all, but for something much darker. She felt like she was selling her soul to attend the party. So that's the gist. She went back and gave a bit more details where she talked about these dolls. This isn't breaking news for TMZ's sake. but she referenced the fact and sort of alluded to it. She still really never said it out loud that these were, kids, but she sure is implying it pretty heavily. And it's pretty damn disturbing, if you ask me, that this is even being considered. Why is he dressing him up like that? I don't get it. I mean, I get it because he's effed up if this is all true. But I keep having to say that for legal purposes. But the fact that he's like parading these kids around in these Barbie outfits to sort of attempt to make them look more like cosplayed people to sort of get away with the little people is so effed up. It's so effed up. It's terrifying. I don't get how more people aren't exposing this. At the same time, I kind of totally get it because they're all involved in these parties that had these Harajuku Barbies. So anybody who's there immediately is complicit because they're like, they were either drunk out of their mind, not paying attention, or they were into it, which is what's so troubling about all this. And that's why a lot of these people, celebrities and so on, don't want to come forward because they're complicit. You can just tell from this girl, she's so nervous to even tell Harvey Levin. Like, I don't want to get in trouble. Like, she's making it clear, like, I was just going to look around. I wasn't partaking. And I was just freaked out, and immediately I got out as quick as I could. But there were people in there who clearly were enjoying the fact that these people, little people, we'll call them little people, but you know what they are. The fact that these little people were being paraded around and cosplayed with, and the fact that she was only in there for a moment, right? If she had stuck around, what else would have happened to those little people? I don't know. Now, Diddy's attorneys wrote out, and they're not writing back to everybody, mind you, so it's interesting, but they did come out to this to say, Miss Tanea Wallace has no credibility and her claims about freak-offs and minors are completely categorically false. As we've said before, Mr. Combs cannot respond to every new publicity stunt, even in response to claims that are facetiously ridiculous. Mr. Combs has full confidence in the facts and the integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail, that the accusations against Mr. Combs are pure fiction. Look, he has that right. He does have the right to defend himself in a court. But my God, there's a lot of these. And there's a lot of now repeating and competing. Granted, they need to come with the proof, right? They need to come with the proof or seem like credible witnesses. And we'll see as that goes. But I got to say, of all the people so far, she seems pretty damn believable to me. The story's pretty well told, makes sense. And she's not even suing or anything. She's just expressing what happened. She came there with a Prince guest. She didn't sign an NDA, it sounds like. And she was freaked out. And she wasn't hired to be there like others. She was a witness. And that's scary, man. Super, super duper scary. It freaks me out, man. That's one of those things I can't forgive. If there are people in there partaking in that kind of behavior, well then shame on them. Lewis, are you there, my man?
Yeah, what's up, Popcorn Planet?
What's up, Lewis? Hold on, let me make sure we can see Lewis real quick. Lewis is coming in. Lewis, we're talking about this story, and it's just getting more and more troubling by the minute to hear that these little people, but you can read between the lines as to what the little people are, dressed up as these Harajuku, sorry, I don't know how to say it, Barbies. Sort of like cosplaying them to sort of get this excuse. I mean, if that's true, man, this guy needs to burn alive, no?
Well, I want to, let's state that's all allegations right now, man. But we're working on, this is getting crazy. But Andy, how many of these are there going to be? This has just started, right? Like every day there's 2 or 3.
Well, that's the point. It's like the lawyer's saying it like, oh, it's, this is all, they're all lying. They're all not telling the truth. But there comes a point where it's like, this isn't even just like a couple. This is a lot of people putting their name on the line, lawsuits, etc., defamation's sake. There's money behind this. So it's like, it's a risky thing to make these kind of accusations. You know what I'm saying, Lewis? So it's hard to just assume they're all lying, right? Which is what he's trying to say. It's a witch hunt.
Let's say it's all defamation, right? You're gonna go after 1,000 people. I mean, I'm just trying to look at it all ways. It's crazy, man. Earlier today, I was talking to you about one witness that came forward, and then this lady I didn't even see, or did I see her? I mean, there's like 3 a day, man. it's nuts. Now we get the Ray J accusation and everything. And look, I will say this: musicians do interact with more people than Harvey Weinstein, for example, who was in a bubble, Hollywood bubble. So his victims were more celebrity status and probably less people. But as far as like internationally well-known rap artist, musician that travels the world, interacted with thousands of people, especially during a 30-year, 30 years of this allegedly happening. So yeah, this is just, this is crazy, man. He's probably bankrupt already. I don't know how you could sustain this kind of defense.
Yeah, it's gonna get intense. It's gonna get wild, and more of these people coming forward definitely are not helping his case. Now, there's another one that's come out, Lewis. I want to break in this too, as we're still in our main topic. But this new lawsuit over an alleged New York City car chase. I want to play this clip in here from News Nation. We'll start and stop, but here's some info coming directly from them.
In the morning, and his bodyguard pulls his sports car and runs me off the road. So now I'm on an island, the trooper, and we get out of the vehicle. Lance gets out of the vehicle, but that's the moment we realized he was not alone. It was not just Puffy and bodyguard. There were 4 other cars. They were loaded with guys. The next thing I hear is pop, pop, and then Lance says, gun, gun, and it's all going down at the same time. And for the life of me, how I got teleported out of that situation, I don't know. But I jump back in my truck. Lance jumps back in the truck. I jump over the island. Now it's a hasty car chase. I'm on sidewalks. I'm going down one ways. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. There's not a lot of traffic, but the traffic that was there, I was able to basically escape this guy and his goons. That's what happened that night.
It's an incredible account, and it's very detailed as well. So I'm assuming that you've included all of these details in the lawsuit. The only question I have for you, DeWitt, is that the statute of limitations on assault is usually about a year. How are you going to get past the fact that this is decades now?
Well, the way to bring a case into court past the statute of limitations, if you're not SA'd, sexually assaulted, with the New York state laws, is new evidence. And as of recent, a few months ago, I'm in touch with, there were 2 people with me in the truck, by the way, and I have not had contact with them. But recently I was in touch with Lance Calfee. Lance Calfee was my security in the truck at the time. And so we've all been intimidated, quite frankly, by Puffy and his money, and his name changes and all of his goons and security and his fan base. And so 2 things. Number 1, I got back in touch with Lance. He gave full testimony to the event that night. He's never given full testimony. Number 2, as I said, not just me, but many people have been intimidated by this guy's power and influence and his money, and not for nothing, but he could wipe me out in no time, with that much power. So I was afraid, to be honest with you. But ever since he's been locked up now we have the federal government on our side. We feel protected. We're no longer afraid. And I speak for all the victims, whether it's Cassie or Natanya Rubin or who got shot in the face by him or any of Diddy's victims. I'm here to speak out for them. So in terms of not coming forth, I just feel safe now to come forth and tell my story. And that's really what it is, just standing on my truth.
Well, DeWitt, I'm really appreciative that you came on to talk to us exclusively about this. I hope you keep us posted on the status of the case. Will you do that?
Yes, and Ashley, not for nothing, but, there are a lot of people at his parties. And some of the most influential people that we've seen on tape have been Kim Kardashian, have been Al Sharpton, have been T.D. Jakes. All of those people, including Ellen, have all been quiet. It's quiet, even since Cassie's beatdown. But they're not speaking out now. They're not speaking out when, I mean, she was beaten up on CNN, for God's sakes. They're not speaking up. Everybody's hush. We have to decide if we're going to choose evil side, or the good or the evil side. And for me, there's only the good side. So make up your minds, guys. Make up your minds. What are you going to do? You're going to stay quiet or you're going to speak up? This guy is a menace to society.
Well, DeWitt,
Wow.
I think you're going to start seeing a lot of people who will speak up, certainly.
What do you think, Lewis?
Wow,
Speaking
that
up,
guy,
man.
that guy, I mean, he sounds believable. I mean, I wasn't there, but geez, he's making a lot of great points now. People are stepping forward because the federal government's on their side, the victim side, the alleged victim side, and there's it just, you know, strength in numbers. There's 120 people coming forward with one law firm, and then more and more, man. Now we hear of this car cheese, like you said earlier. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. This guy sounds legit to me. What does everyone think in the comments?
It's crazy. The more and more things that come out now it's a car chase. Now it's like everything, right? It's like this guy has been accused of everything across the sun. And look, I don't know what to believe. I can't just believe everything, Lewis. We got to hear each story as they come in. But this man is Diddy, is what I'm referring to, is shady, man. So what's wild to me is I go back even to this. I'm trying to get like Diddy's lawyer's response right here, talking about like it's all fake, it's all false, it's all publicity stunts. Every new publicity stunt, like. I might have been more willing to accept that and even believe it to an extent if he didn't already do that to Cassie. Do you know what I mean, Lewis? The fact that he was out there labeling Cassie as pretty much the same thing as a lying clout chaser, like his credibility is gone, absolutely gone. And so how does he come back from that, in your opinion? Is there even a way to at this point now that he's fighting for his life?
No, the Cassie thing's already sealed, but I think, you know, it's fair game to go after all the celebrities that are so preachy nowadays. Like they are quiet. By the way, this story you played by that young lady earlier, it's disgusting, man. I mean, it's hard to even listen to. Little people dressed up like dolls. What the hell is that? Sounds like a Nightmare A24 horror film type of thing. These movies wouldn't even run that. You know, because it's disgusting. Yeah, it's really, really bad. In fact, the TMZ's running these things because I do feel like TMZ was running cover, making a big deal out of the situation in the beginning, especially when his mansion was raided about a year ago. So for them to come forward with all these seemingly legit sounding accusers is shocking to me. But as far as Diddy coming back, no, there's no way he could come back. Not, you know, no way, especially after the Cassie video. Even people who are more, you know, they want evidence, there it is. And honestly, there's a saying, if you see one roach in your house, there's hundreds. So I don't know, this behavior, you've seen it with Cassie, there's probably hundreds of times this stuff's happened before, right? So no, there's no coming back for Diddy, unless somebody makes a 50 years from now, somebody makes a documentary on Netflix.
Oh, they're already making tons of documentaries about it on
None
Netflix.
of them are going to be on The Good Light though.
Oh, The Good Light, yeah. Like I mean, there's a podcast that tried to do with Amber Heard, which was pretty hilarious. And
you have to wait generations have to forget what Diddy was, and then you could have a puff piece, but not anytime soon. You know.
Yeah, look, more and more is coming to light, and we are excited because, Lewis, I don't know if you heard, we got a lot of these people starting to talk to us, and I'm excited to get some of these people on. We're working our best to get them in the studio to ask them these questions to get to it, because, look, this is an important topic. Justice is key here, and we want to make sure we can be the voice for these people and give them a chance to get their story heard. So stay tuned. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell for all alerts, and subscribe to my man Nerd Report as well. Lewis is over there. We got a lot more to talk about, but those are your three main stories. There you have it. If you want to watch the full show, the full show, which goes on for about 2 hours, where we drop some other good stories you're not going to miss. You should become a member today. Hit that join here on YouTube, become a member. Check our member playlist on the main channel page. You can watch our Uncensored show as well. We went in a whole tirade about Diddy's stepdaughter and so much more. Catch the full shows as a replay benefit for members over on our Patreon, the best way to support us, as well as over on YouTube. Plus, you'll be able to catch our Uncensored and so much more. These shows, these podcast length episodes, let me know if you're liking them more. They will soon be on streaming audio platforms as well. I can't wait to bring it to you when they are. I hope we'll see your support, but get ready. Thank you guys so much. We got so much coming, some amazing special guests and more. So hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and stay tuned. And meanwhile, we're heading you over